value, guys, your time. Can I talk? I totally value your time. For me personally, my goal this year is to be intentional. And that means to be intentional and give you everything that you need to be successful. So let me be clear here. You can do 1,000 trainings on this, and if you don't apply what you learn, it's not going to change, okay? It is you versus you in this business, and that is the number one thing you need to remember. If you think it's you versus me, or you versus Joe Schmo over there that's commenting and liking on everything, or you versus anyone else, you're going to struggle with that inadequacy, you're going to struggle with your foundation of belief, and you're going to struggle with a lot of things that are going on between your head, okay? So I'm going to say some things tonight that might rub you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that make you think about things, but I'm doing it because I want you to be the best coach that you can, okay? I'm going to ask you to do things and bring forward things with you that you may be uncomfortable talking about, that you may not want to hear. Because the truth is if we are not doing these things, our team or our future team or the coaches that we bring into this foundation will not do these things, okay? So let me give you an example. And some of you may, and I'm only talking if you're on here because you're probably a business builder or you're probably working your business. So if you're on here, I'm talking to the business builders. If you're a discount coach and you're just trying to get support, I'm probably not talking to you. If you're a coach that's in and out of the business, I'm probably not talking to you, okay? Super Saturday's coming up, all right? It's a perfect example. Are you being a leader or are you just saying, I can't make it? Super Saturday happens 4 times a year. I want you to understand that I make it happen. It's not easy for me. My husband's birthday is this weekend. I have 15 people coming over 2 hours after Super Saturday's over. I'm hosting it. I had to get babysitting for my daughter because my son is in a baseball practice. My husband has to go to a coaching event during that time. I could have said, screw it. I don't need to be there. Okay. And I want you to start, and I know you might think, well, she has to be there. She's an elite coach. Actually not. The reason why I'm at where I'm at is because I chose to go to Super Saturday. I chose to go to Summit and I made it a priority. Okay. And that is the truth. And if you're doing things and you're telling yourself, or you're making an excuse in your head why you don't want to go to those events or you're not going to be there, there is a reason that your business is the way it is, because people look at you as their leader and they're seeing you not go to those things and not attend those events. And they're saying, well, she doesn't go, so I don't need to go. Okay. Legitimately, if you're having a baby, if you're out of town and you planned a trip for a year, or there are some things that I get, but ultimately ask yourself in the last couple times, have you been there? And if the question is, no, I haven't, or the answer is no, I haven't, then have a gut check, because that's on you. And I want to make sure you're a better leader. And I want to make sure that you start to see yourself as a better leader. Because when you have integrity and you're proud of your actions, you'll start to make better choices. Okay? So that's number one. That's just an example I want to talk to you about. So let's talk about inviting. I'm really weird, and I know it sounds weird, but a lot of my ideas come in the shower. I'm like washing my hair. I'm like, that's a great thing to talk about. And I kept thinking, what are my coaches struggling with? Like, here's the thing, is I'm in this business 5 years, and I still struggle. Inviting doesn't always come easy to me. My posts don't always come easy to me. It does not just happen like bada bing, bada boom. I have all these people in my network. I am where I am at because I've hustled, I've worked, and I've really pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I've worked hundreds of hours of personal development. I've really tried to put myself out there, and I have to continue to do that. If I stop at any time, my business goes this way. Okay? Now, I used to look at it as draining. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just never going to keep up with the Kardashians. But that was because I was comparing to other people. When you compare to yourself and you say, what's my life look like? How can I use this in my life? How fast do I want to move with this? Megan is the perfect example. Megan, thank you for being on this call. I'm going to give her a little bit of a tutor horn. I don't even know if that's a word. But she's in my challenge group. She's a coach. She's decided that she's kind of wanting to work the business. But she doesn't really know, like, if she wants to, go all out. But she also just said that she started to worry, like, that she wasn't doing enough because she started seeing all these coaches doing all these other things or all these people. And then she's like, dang it, Megan, you're in this versus you. You're doing this for yourself. This is you versus you. And then she was suddenly happier and more fulfilled. So this is not a race against you or anyone else. This is what I want you to be fulfilled in this business, and whatever that means. However, I'm here to push you. If you're telling me you want to quit your job or make a certain amount of money or add value to your life in a certain way, and you don't show up to my groups, or you don't show up to my team calls, or you don't show up in the team page, that's an issue, right? I'm going to call you out and be like, well, you said this is what you want. And then if your actions don't follow through, therefore, then it's me getting to choose who I work with in the future. Does that make sense? I'm not mad at you. I love you guys, but I only want to work with those that really want to push, okay? And I work with every coach differently. I work with the discount coaches differently. I work with the customers differently. I give them my support. I work with coaches that have taken a step back differently. There's nothing wrong with that. I have lots of coaches that have decided certain things in their life are not right, and then they come back, or I have coaches that really want to push. So just know, the people that show up to Super Saturday, the people that show up to these team calls, the people that show up in my groups, those are the people I'm choosing to work with. Does that make sense? Because you're here, and because you should value my time, and I should value your time, right? Okay, so I want to get down to the nitty gritty. I'm going to give you key points for inviting. So there's 4 basic things I'm going to talk about, and under each point are 3 things, bullet points, okay? So, but before we get into that, I want you to understand the whole idea behind inviting is you just have to do. I cannot tell you how many people I've talked to, how many new coaches I've talked to, how many coaches, they worry so much about what they're saying, how they're saying it, how they're coming across, what they're doing, if it's right, I don't know what to say, I look like a salesperson. Like, get that out of your head, and doing something is better than nothing, okay? But you have to practice, all right? I'm going to give Joy a shout out. Her and I were talking today. She sent 21 voice invites, and she said the first 3 sucked. Like, terrible. She was like, they were so awful. She's like, I thought I was so terrible. But by the 21st one, she was rocking it, and she felt so amazing. It just is like riding a bike. You'll find your groove, and you'll figure it out. Okay, so the number 1 point, get over yourself in inviting, okay? It's not about you. It's about them, all right? Do more personal development until your belief is the foundation of your business, that our products are the foundation, that you are an amazing person, and that you offer so much to other people, but that this is not about you. This is about offering a solution to someone that is on the struggle bus. You've been there before. So it's important for you to offer a solution to these people, and do it with certainty. Show up and do it with pride. Show up and be proud of what we have to offer. Because my challenge groups rock, and I know that. And I make them understand that. I know that I'm working on myself, and there's nothing more powerful than the idea that growing is free in my mind, and I share that with my challengers, okay? So do more personal development if you're struggling. I know that you hear that all the time, and you're probably going to tell me to shut up, but it's the truth. You have to, if you're constantly questioning yourself, you got to stop what you're doing and do more personal development, okay? So get over yourself. Number 1 is it's not about you, it's about them. Number 2, inviting is part of this, is part of a successful business, okay? If you do not invite in the beginning, especially, and until you've developed this routine, you will not be successful. Now, success looks different to other people. I am talking about success in the business as consistently making Success Club, advancing rank to Emerald, and moving your step forward, okay? Success in general is different for each person, okay? But I'm telling you that it is part of a successful business. Being a teacher, when I was a teacher, part of a successful classroom was having a lesson plan. If I didn't have a lesson plan, I went in there and I winged it, and I was like, that really sucked. And the kids were crazy, and everyone was crazy, okay? 5 years into my business, or into teaching, I could wing it a little bit. I could show up because I taught that before, and I bounced ideas off each other. Does that make sense? It's a little bit different in the beginning and kind of as you get into it, okay? And then number 3, let's talk a little bit about cold versus warm. And so you need to say something like the transition between cold and warm market, okay? I'm just going to give you some tips. In the beginning, it's going to be mostly your warm market. People that are in your life, people that you've worked with in the past, people, your friends, your aunt's cousin's sister, maybe a referral here or there. But I'm telling you right now, that is going to end. Your warm market, and sometimes it lasts longer, it lasts different. There's no time range on that. Sometimes it's 3 months. Sometimes I talked to a girl the other day, she still has a warm market 2 years. She's still working with a warm market for 2 years. That's working for her. She's consistently still working with that. That ended for me about 3 or 4 months into the business. Like, I had to start adding people to my network. Okay, So then there's something called the cold market. I am uncomfortable a lot, and I'm gonna be honest with you, with cold markets, but I've learned to get better because I put myself out on social media. And so a cold market is someone that you don't necessarily, they're not your friends right now, okay? You just added them for, you know, to join you, or maybe they're a friend of a friend that you clicked friend, and we'll talk a little bit about that. They might be from your like page. They might be from a person in the grocery store. You see them cooking something and you're like, that's awesome. What are you cooking? And this is a true story. I did that. Start talking in the grocery store line, and then we're like, oh, you know, I like trying new things too. I'm part of this crock pot group. Do you want to be part of it? Sure. What's your name? I added that person to my Facebook right there and typed her name in, add it. That's a cold. I don't know her. Okay. There is going to be a transition in your business. Do not let the fact that you run out of people be your transition. That means do your job and continuously add people and continuously talk, because there is going to be a point where no one is answering your messages, no one is responding, and no one is commenting, because it's like you talked to the same person 17 times. Does that make sense? And I've been there, and I know what it's like. So understand that it's your job, okay? So get over yourself, understand it's your job to set a foundation of belief, to make it be about them, not about you. Inviting is part of this successful business, and that there is going to be a transition from warm market to cold market, and that you have to understand that. Now, here's the deal. Eventually, your goal is to get people to coming to you monthly. That is your goal. You show up consistently every day, you're there every day, and you're going to get those people that are in your inbox and your messages when you have call to actions. But I'm telling you in the beginning, it's not that easy. It's not, oh, you have a call to action and 70 people say they want to join you. That's just not life. That is not life. And if you want it, if you understand the truth behind it, that is normal. It's normal if you make a post and you get 0 comments and likes. It's not about, that's what you need to understand, especially if you're just starting to work your business. So there's going to be a transition. So let's talk a little bit about how you increase your numbers to invite, finding new people, and trying new things. Those are my next things. So my next thing is finding new people. So now I'm saying that you have to invite more often. So how are you going to find new people? Okay. And everything that I talk to now today, literally are subtopics that you could watch a YouTube video on. But don't overtrain yourself. Don't get so overwhelmed and then go to this training video and this training video and then do nothing because you're so overwhelmed. You got to remember at the very beginning I said just do something. So pick something that you want to work on for a couple days and work on that. Okay, so number one, you can find new people from going on, or talking, I guess, new people, new conversations from your friends list. So people that you haven't talked to, we're still talking about warm market. Okay, friends of friends. Facebook offers you suggestions of people, what we call reach outs, anyone that likes or comments your posts, referrals, asking for referrals if someone has worked with you, joining new groups on Facebook. That's what I did in the beginning, you guys. I built a lot of my business by joining, I joined a Boston Terrier group. I had a dog, Boston Terrier. I met other moms of dogs, I guess you should say. I friended them. It wasn't like I went into the group and I started friending everyone. I built a relationship. It happened over time. Sometimes it happened in a day. Sometimes it happened in a couple days. You need to run public events, meaning maybe you don't even know what that means, but I run a public free group. I run a squats and salads group, let's say this next week, and any person can see it. And I ask people, I tell them what to do. I ask people to join me in my events. I say to them what they're going to get. I tell them this is what I'm going to offer you. That this normally costs money, but I'm doing it for free because I love this so much and I want to share a little bit of you. And then eventually you will have to advertise. And whether that's on your like page or whether that's paying for someone to do the advertising for you, eventually that's going to happen. Okay. I'm just telling you that's how you find new people. But right now your new people should be friends of friends, getting new groups, finding local moms groups or local groups that are your themes or your theme. What am I talking about? What you love to do, a knitting group, a sewing group, a gardening group. So I had a gardening group I was part of. I was part of a doggy group. I met with moms from my city called the Happy Valley Moms Group. I've had quite a few people join me from there. We'd meet at the park. We start talking. We'd become friends. And then they'd see my post and they're like, what are you doing? You look so happy, that kind of stuff. They reach out to me. I'd start conversations, or, I'd make it a point to reach out to people. We'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, now, and then finding new people, a part of finding new people is building your affinity and interaction, which is like listening to the National Wake Up Calls on Monday and doing what Chalene Johnson says. That's what we're going to do next week. You're going to be doing live videos. We're going to be practicing those. That's how you build your affinity. Because Facebook is so crazy, not everyone's going to see your posts. Only about 7% of people see your posts. And I hope that's not discouraging, but it's the truth. The newest numbers came out. That means out of 100 people, if you had 100 people on your friends list, only 7 of them would see it. And then out of those 7 of them, you still have to build relationships and whatever, but that's only if you're depending on a post that goes up and Kiana, no one's coming to me. Okay? Only 7% of people will see your stuff, and then probably less than 1% of people will join you from your posts in the beginning. Okay? Now, what does that mean? That means you got to do the work and you got to build your interaction, which means you got to be inviting behind the scenes. You got to be having conversations. So the last point of this is stop talking to the same people and wasting your energy and move on and find new people. Okay? I've done that. I've been there before. Absolutely follow up. Absolutely do it 2 or 3 times, but don't drag people through the mud. If they're not ready, they're not ready. I have so many people that come back to me that are ready. Of course, I think you need to ask people lots of times, especially if they're on your hot list, what I like to call, I want this person on my team. Continuously ask them and say, hey, it's been 2 months. I haven't talked to you. But don't spend energy trying to get those that one person that you sent a link to 3 months ago to join. Like, that's just not what it is. That's not how this business works, okay? So the next thing is, how do you increase your number of invites once you start to have these friends? So here is the how-to of it, because I feel like people get stuck here a lot. So the 2 biggest things are finding new people and how to invite. So I don't think there's a perfect way. I don't think I'm a guru by any way, shape, or form, but I've been around the block, and I would be willing to share with you scripts that I have and things that I've used in the beginning especially. Now I wing it a lot. Now I use my voice. Now I get to know the person. I don't always use scripts, but in the beginning, of course I use scripts. And in the beginning, meaning years, 2.5 years into the business, I was still using scripts. And these are great to write them down, put them in a note section of your phone and copy and paste, and then change a little bit according to who you're talking to. Okay, so let me share the screen. I have 3 different ones that I want to share with you. Oh, Lordy. Let me see. Do you see that? Do you see what I'm seeing? Probably not. Let me try again. Okay, share screen. Examples of how to invite. Do you see this? Please tell me you see it. Okay, so I will share this underneath the video recording. It will go up tonight or tomorrow morning. These are exact scripts, okay? So I have 3 different ones. I have examples of how to invite. I have examples of the invite process from start to finish, and then I have 5-step invite process. I just want you to print these up, read through them, and then use what works for you, okay? So sending someone an invite. Inviting someone who's liked your post. I give you an example. Hey, Sarah, I just want to say thanks for liking my post about my weight loss journey. It's always hard to share that sort of thing, but honestly, my life has been transformed these last few months. I'm really excited to share how amazing this is. Just curious, though, were you interested in hearing more how this works? Nutrition is dialed in, the workouts are short and not complicated. I think you'd love it when you have so much fun in our group. Let me know if you'd like to know more. On a side note, that costume that you picked out for Jamie is hilarious. Where did you find it? Do you see how I'm being truthful? These are real invites that I've sent, okay? I have no idea how you pulled it off. Hope your day is not too insane. Okay, another version of a basic invite. Hey, Sarah, saw your post about wanting to get back into shape, and I thought I'd reach out. I'm actually hosting a 21-day fit group that's starting on November 9th, and I want to see whatever your days are, okay? These are all things. Examples. So number 2. So it's kind of crazy with the boys today, but I wanted to send this quick invite to you. So I don't have boys, but I'm just throwing these out there. So I'd say kind of crazy with the kids. I'm hosting a 21-day fit group that's starting on November 9th. I wanted to see if you'd like more information, nutrition. So you can take parts of these and put them together. You can use whatever you want, but these are here for you, and this is what's awesome. However you need to tweak these scripts, feel free to keep them or keep them the way they are. Adjust each message to fit the person you're sending. So now here's what I did. I sandwiched my invites. I started off with thanking her for liking my post, or that it's crazy with the boys. Offered the chance to hear more, the meet, closed with the way out. The costume is totally off. So basically I combined those 2 invites up here. So I gave you an example number 1, I gave you an example number 2, and then I actually combine the invite. Sometimes I do that. Okay, now here's me getting their why. The next step is short and it doesn't take long. Next, just say this. Great, first, though I'd love to just hear what your goals would, you might have for your fitness and health. What changes were you hoping to see? Or whatever answer you give you is usually their why. It's the reason they want to start, and you're interested. From there, you're going to chat back and forth, be vulnerable. You're going to share your story, how this has offered value to you. And so I say, okay, I share how the challenge works. And then I share how the challenge works. I break it down, and then I close the deal. Okay, that's a perfect example. And then I have some more. This is more of the 5-step invite process. So this is the 5-step invite process that works. Similar, it's nothing that changes. Like, this is more detailed. So if you're a more detailed person, use the words. Literally fill in the blanks. Awesome, I'm excited to get you. So basically, what part of the post, she said she wanted to be involved in my group. What part of the post jumped out at you most? I'm always so curious to know, because everyone's so different. I'm so excited, that I get to work with you in this group. Oh, thanks for the message, whatever. I love and need that too. So basically, read through the scripts. I'm giving you exact wording of what I've said, what I've done, how it works. And then follow-ups and examples. I give you videos. I give you videos to give people. I give you ideas about how you can share the 21-day fix. I give you videos of how healthy is your shake. These are all made for us, okay? So make sure you look through this. You can look through that in more detail. And then I also have, I think this is called the invite process from start to finish. So these are the 3 main ones that I have used in the past. And as you see, they're probably different years because I changed. Things change. And so, let me see. What the heck? I don't know what happened there. Hold on. Okay, so here's some more examples. And again, I will share all these Google documents. But here are some great questions that you can ask people. What do you struggle with most? Exercise and nutrition. I always used to start off with that. Do you mind telling me what you eat during a typical day? How much water? You don't have to ask every one of these questions. These are just lead-ins to get them to start thinking. What kind of exercise do you like? Do you have exercise equipment at home? Do you feel like you have support? And then, some of these prices have changed because prices have changed, but you can fill that in. But these are all great scripting, especially if you're stuck. You don't know what to say, how to say it. What do I do? What do I do next? You just have to start trying, okay? I hope that those help and give you some ideas, or at least give you some thoughts on it. Okay. Okay, so now we're talking about how you increase your number of invites. So one other thing I want to talk to you, so this is the 3rd point. So number 1, we've talked about getting over yourself. Number 2, we've talked about finding new people. Number 3, we talked about increasing your number of invites. So I want you to be truthful with yourself and ask yourself, how much are you truly inviting? When coaches tell me they're struggling, or coaches tell me they haven't invited someone, or they can't get people to join them, like they think that inviting one person every other day in the last week was enough, okay? I'm just telling you right now, it's totally a numbers game. Sure, you might get someone to join you that you've only 1 for 1. But in general, out of 10 people, 2 to 3 people join you. So you have to increase your numbers. And then some of those people come back. But the thing is when you start to write down and track how many people you are inviting, just take a look at it. Track for the next week and say, okay, wow, I'm only inviting 3 people. I've only invited 3 people in the last 7 days. That's where my struggle is. And it's the same thing with coaching. How many people have you invited to the coaching opportunity? If you've only invited 1 a week for the last 4 weeks, that's 4 people you've invited total. When in reality, if you want to build your business a little bit faster and more successful, you increase your numbers. Now, whatever that means to you, in the sense of, I want you to do this, number 1, being happy, being fulfilled. Absolutely, you can be happy, fulfilled, crush Success Club, put in the time, work, and do whatever. But I want to make sure you keep those at the forefront, and that you keep your priorities in line, okay? Because that's super important. I wouldn't want you to work at all costs or do whatever, because that you're gonna burn out. I don't want you to do that. But you gotta get real with yourself. you got to talk to yourself about, like, you got to be honest with yourself and look in the mirror and be like, dude, I'm not inviting. I'm not inviting at all. And if that's why you're struggling, and that is the bottom line. If you're not inviting, or if you're inviting, and you can say, okay, legit, Kiana, I am inviting. Go back and look at your conversations and see what the tone of voice is. Is it nervous? Is it like desperate? How can you change your tone? Can you do voice messaging instead? So another thing, so how to increase your invites, number one is look at those scripts, okay? Make sure you're looking at the scripts. You can cut and paste and create your own scripts. So the way that my Google documents are set up is I'll give you a copy of the link, and then you just need to, everyone has Google Documents. It's just on your google.com, and you can start saving your own documents, and then you just click the button that says make a copy, and then you just make a copy, and then you can erase what you want, add what you want, you know what I mean? So you're not making a copy to mine. You're not erasing mine and changing mine. You're starting to create your own scripts that work for you. But by all means, I don't care if you do word for word what I've done. You got to see what works. You have to try new things, okay? So that's number one, is focus on the scripts. Number two is set a timer and send invites first thing in the AM. That is my number one tip. I'm not even kidding you. So I've decided that I've had to play this trick with myself. I know it sounds weird, but like, I like to work out and I like to sweat and it makes me feel good. So I won't let myself work out until I do my invites, because I have to eat the frog, because I was like, no, I got to get my workouts in, and then I got to do this. And then before you know it, it's 10 o'clock at night. I haven't sent invites out. And I don't know about you, not that it matters, but like my tribe, my clientele, like if I'm sending them messages at 1 a.m, they're like, this girl has to work all the time, all day long. I don't want to do that. Why is she sending me a message at 1 a.m? That's crazy. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to come across as that either. And I'm not worried about, I'm just saying that's me and mine being intentional. I don't want to send messages at 1 a.m. I don't want to be messaging at 12 o'clock in the nighttime. I want to be sleeping. So whatever, now here's the thing about this, is I want you to set the timer, and maybe it's only 5 minutes the first time, okay? And then maybe it goes to 10 minutes the second time. I don't care necessarily how many invites you do during that time, just that you're making quality invites, okay? I used to worry about like, oh, get 17 invites in this amount of time. But 17 crappy invites aren't good. Like 3 really good invites are good in 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So have quality invites. Use voice messaging more often than not. Save yourself some time, and set a goal and stick with it. So for 30 days, I swear, if you set an inviting goal and stick with it for 30 days, your business is going to change. If you say to me, Kiana, my goal for inviting is I'm going to invite for 7 minutes a day. Maybe one day it's you invite 1 person. Maybe the next day in the 7 minutes you invite 3. But I'm going to invite for 7 minutes, and I'm going to, no matter what, just do 7 minutes right when I wake up, or 10 minutes, right? Your business is going to change, because you're staying consistent and you're doing the things that are hard. So I want you to think about this business that makes it hard and do that first. For me, I'm not 5 years into the business. I know for some people, inviting is super easy. It's like a game to them. They love it. Like, it's just like, but it's still, I'm an emotional person. And so I feel like I'm invested, and I spend time and I talk to people. And so I had to stop working on mind ninja number games. Like, I'm not a good coach unless I get 50 invites in this week. No, that's not what it's about. It's quality over quantity. And every one of you have a different number. Okay. So Chrissy, her level of invites might totally be different than me, and might totally be different than Tracy. And it's all dependent upon being truthful with yourself and telling me where you want to go in this business, and how fast you want to get there. And if you haven't got there yet, it's totally okay. But don't complain to me if you've only done 1 invite in 30 days, right? I'm here to help you be successful. I'm here to be real with you, and I'm here to give you the truth. And sometimes you might be mad at me for that, but in the end, you'll thank me, okay? Okay, the very last thing is try new things with inviting, okay? I am 5 years into the business and continuously trying new things. I've been truthful with you guys. The last 2 months have been an adjustment. I made Success Club 8, I think, last month, and 6 the last month. 35 months in a row, I've made Success Club 10. So the last 2 months have been a challenge to me. So I can come on here and be like, oh yeah, I invite and everything's great and this is great. But I'm being real with you. Like I'm giving you things that I'm doing and I'm changing. I have to reinvent myself. I have to constantly work at it. But the thing is the result, the like, what this does for me, the invites lead me to build relationships, which lead me to have these awesome challenge groups, which lead me to be happier, to healthier, to help people. That's what I want to do. I want to serve people. And if I don't do the invites, I don't have all these people falling into my lap right now. Of course people come to me. 5 years in the business, I think I would be doing something wrong if people don't come to me. But they don't always come to me every single month in large numbers, okay? My goal this year, by the end of the year, is to use my like page to have an ad up that is bringing people in consistently. I'm not there yet. So I'm signing up for a training to work on. I'm doing these things that are working in my business because that's where I'm at in my business. I want to work those things. Okay, so try new things. So you need to run a 3 to 5 day event and build relationships. And it needs to be free. And it needs to be on something that you're excited about. That's the bottom line. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, or you're like, I don't know what to do it on, listen to the National Wake Up Call on February 27th with Candace Talbot. She talks about that exact thing. She talked about free groups. She broke it down, what she does with them. She talked about how she transitioned them into her community, how she built relationships with these people, and that's how she gets all like cold market leads into a free group and does that. So you need to run some type of event because people want to know what you offer, and then they get to work with you. And that's where you want to give them 100%. Like, oh my gosh, they're in these free groups. Does every single person in a free group buy a challenge pack? No. But your goal is if you had 25 people and 3 people bought a challenge pack, what would that help you do? Make Success Club, right? That is your goal, is to find a certain number of new people and build relationships each month. Okay. Number 2, do more live videos, because live videos increase your affinity. People see your personality. I did a live video tonight because I burnt my food. It was literally out of control. It was this thick of it was so bad. Like so bad. I really just wanted to drink wine after I did this because I spent like 30 minutes cooking this delicious food. And then, when you like cook it and you like think you can salvage it and then you take a bite and it like tastes burnt, and you're like, this is bad. It was just bad. But I wasn't doing a live video to get someone to join me and be like, oh, I'm doing this. I have a secret agenda. I'm doing a live video because I want to know if someone else can relate to me, because tonight sucked. And I want to know if there's other people out there like me that have burnt their rice and can't cook rice, because apparently I can't cook rice. All right? You need to take some tips or something. So do more live videos. And if you want to really push yourself, be part of my little push. I'm going to do it right in the team page. My little push going on next week, which is going to be following the exact format of Chalene Johnson from the National Wake Up Call, of like getting them excited in the first 10 seconds, sharing some type of story or doing that, really getting on live. And when I say do more live videos, the number one question is, well, Kiana, where do I do them? My like page or my personal page? Well, where are you going all in at? Like, where are you going 100% in? I'm telling you, most of you will get more interaction on your personal pages. I'm not saying that you don't need to build a like page, because I think that that's great. And if you have decided to completely build in your like page, go that route and be committed, okay? I do both. I do a little bit of both. I bring people over from my like page into my personal page. I build a lot of relationships on my personal page. I'm not too concerned with my privacy settings. I've kind of been able to block people and do what I need to do. I haven't had a lot of problems. It's working for me. That's what I do. But I get a lot of new people from my like page, and I bring them over, and then they realize, oh, she's a real person and kind of a hot mess half the time, right? Okay. And then try new things. Share more of you, okay? Open up and get vulnerable. And we'll talk a little bit about that next week. Something that scares the crap out of you, like makes you get butterflies, or like really makes you like go, oh, that was really hard. And an example, and I shared this on the live video today really quickly, an example was my post today, my I Am Team Beachbody Coach. 5 years into the business, I could have totally just talked about, like, I've suffered with anxiety from the past, and I've had depression in the past, but I wanted to paint a picture and give people a glimpse of my life. I used to be a teacher, and I literally used to drop my pencil on the ground and pretend that I couldn't find it because I was having a panic attack in the middle of class. And I'd get on the ground and I go, like, I literally could not like face my classroom. It was so difficult during that time. I could have just said I suffered from anxiety, but how more relatable is it that I shared that part of my story? Because so many people are going to be like, that's me. Or instead of saying you didn't want to get I'm just saying, think about how you can relate a little bit more. You know, like whatever your struggle is, we all struggle. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be you suck at meal prep. It could be like whatever. You suck at whatever, or you're working through things. Your struggle is going to be your biggest strength sometime in the business. It's eventually going to be your strength. It's eventually going to be something that you work through and talk about. But if you're not willing to share, no one's going to care. That is the truth. I just made that up. That was good. Okay. If you're not willing to share, no one's going to care. All right. And then my very last thing, just a little bit of tips. I don't know if these go into anything. Try different posts. Keep trying new things. Post at different times because you don't know when your people are going to be on the most. And then remember this, that everything is figure outable. If you're struggling in this business and you are struggling in a certain part of it, it's going to be okay. You can figure it out. You're not a failure if you haven't figured it out. It's just a bump in the road. I have a bump in the road. You just need to do something. You just need to try something new and work on that. And then try something new again and get excited about something. And remember, the number one reason I believe people don't do invites is because they're overthinking them. They overthink, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to say it. I don't know what to say. Whoa, slow your roll and just do it. And they may suck in the beginning because I've sent a lot of sucky invites. But how do you know, or how are you going to get better, or how are you going to like perfect this, or do anything better if you don't? What if you only showed up to work out twice a week? You wouldn't have that much success in progress. And that's what we do with invites, is we only show up twice a week. And then we're like, man, I can't build my business. No one's joining me. What's going on? Because you just didn't show up. You just didn't do it. You just got stuck. You got to face your fear, and you just got to do it. And one of the things that's really helped me is leading with my fear. So I'm very much an open book. If someone doesn't respond to me and I followed through with them, I say, is there something that's holding you back? Is there something that I said that bothered you in my last message, or brought up a red flag? Is there something, a question that you have? And more often than not, they'll say, yeah, I'm hung up on the price, or I'm hung up on the shake. I'm not a shake person. And I'm like, let's talk about it. Lead with your fear, because the more you lead with it, the better you're going to get with your answers. And there's nothing to be afraid about. There's nothing to be scared about. If you believe in this product, if you believe in what we do, if you believe in this community, if you believe in us as a team, we want to get more people with us. Okay. Joining us. We want to make this a ripple effect to more and more people, but we can't do that if we're only dipping a toe into the ocean. All right. You got to dive head in and do the things that you can do, because you have confidence and belief in yourself and in this, I guess, in our products. But Shalene said, what did she say? That was really good. If you haven't listened to the Nash Wake Up Call, you really should. But she said, what did she say that was so good? I don't think I wrote it down. Dang it. Hold on. Close to those who have a need. Dang it. It was really good. Now I don't don't remember. I'm sorry. But it was something to the extent of, I'm sure you've heard of it, like stories, facts tell, stories sell. And it's something to that extent, which means your story is going to, if you're worried about selling, then you are. Do something different. Like, you're not a salesman. I'm not trying to sell anyone except a lifestyle. Like, that's what I'm doing. And I'm excited about it because I've seen single-handedly the Christies of the world, the Megans of the world, the Danielles of the world change their life. And I want to help more people. And that gets me excited. And I've helped myself. Does that make sense? So I have 100% passion in this. And when I second guess myself, I have to go back to, okay, why am I second guessing myself? Do a little bit more personal development and knock out those invites, because this is a gift. Once you look at this as a gift that you're giving to people, your view is going to change. Okay. So bottom line, if you're not at where you're at, you got to do more, like find more people with what we talked about. You have to increase your invites, find a way to increase your invites, set a timer first thing in the morning, bada bing, bada boom. If you want to even go into more details, tomorrow I'm having a live power hour at 10 a.m. I'm going to show you everything I do with my business in an hour so that those that don't have a lot of time and those that want to knock it out can get it done. So no excuses. So I'll post I'm going to start doing those like once a month, the live power hours, or twice a month. I know some of you work and I get it. It's not, so, but I think it's awesome to do. There's something awesome about joining together and inviting and doing the process together. Okay. I'm going to unmute you all. So I hope that this helped. Maybe a little bit, some. And maybe I don't know how to, unmute you all. Okay. Does any of you have any questions, or do any of you have any questions?
No, this is good.
Or comments? Does that help you feel a little better? I need to hear from you. Like, did it help you feel better? Oh, that's right. Julia, stop selling and start telling. That's what she said. Thank you.
Yeah,
Julia,
that's how she let in.
Wake-up call. Go ahead, Julie.
Her biggest thing was when you're selling a product, you lead with the product, you lead with the price. Start telling your story.
Yeah.
Let them get involved with the product.
Right. And that people need, like, we have health problems and things that are happening and we have a solution. So let's start leading with the solution. And I thought it was interesting what she talked about, like how it's like, oh, I have Beachbody On Demand and I have a challenge group, but people don't know what that is. People don't even know what Shakeology is. So don't say Shakeology, necessarily say a superfood shake that has some, like, whatever it does, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so this helped you guys?
I took 3 pages of notes from her Monday.
What? What'd you say?
I took 3 pages of notes from her on Monday.
She was good. I listened to it in the car, and I have to go back and write notes on this because it was so good. Mm-hmm. And I listened to podcasts at 1.5 speed. Did you know you could do that? Yeah. So I listened to 1.5. Yeah. So if you go to your podcasts,
what?
Yeah, it changes your life. If you go to your podcast and you click on it, like, so, like, let's go to Beachbody. I'll go to Team Beachbody. Okay, so go to my podcast. You see how it comes up? Oh, dang it. Like, I'm just going to talk it out. So I know some of you just go to the podcast and then you just, like, push it and then it plays. But you need to go down to the very bottom where where you can, like, make it come up and it looks like this. Does that make sense? Or, like, it comes up. Then do you see this little button right here that says 1 times? 1 times, do you see that?
Nice.
Push it again and now it goes to 1.5 speed. Push it again and it goes to 2 speed. I honestly think you can't keep track of 2 speed. It's just too fast.
Right.
And, like, people like me that already talk fast and then you put me on 1.5 speed, I'm going to talk like this. Oh my God. But I listen to that so I can listen to double the amount of podcasts in the same amount of time. And I get a lot out of it. But when I'm taking notes, I have to listen to it regularly, you know? Yeah. Okay, so are we feeling better about invites? Who's going to go out there and be more confident in their invites? Everyone raise your hand. Now. Thank you. Okay? And who's going to use the scripts or at least look through the scripts? Because scripts are useless if they're just sitting there. So you're going to look through the scripts at least?
Yes.
Okay. Who's committed to reaching out first thing in the morning? Yes, please. Megan was like, wax on. We were like, maybe. I know I have to do that because when I do it more often than not, I feel better. I'm going to do it. I'm committing to you guys for the rest of the month to do my invites first thing in the morning. Okay. Just watch and your business is going to transform. Okay. So any other questions? I'm going to let you guys go, but I want to take a picture with you because you're amazing.
Oh.
Okay. Hold on. Smile. See if I can do this. I was doing this backwards. Okay. Ready? I can't even see you guys. Dang it. Okay, right, I'm going to do it again. Get ready, set, go, smile. Awesome. Okay, thank you guys for taking the time to be on here. And I will upload the video recording with the links, okay? Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.